Art show showed a variety of work I do. I have watercolors and oils, and I not only do in New England scenes, I've made travels to Portugal and Spain and Italy, and so it's just a little variety of the range of work that I do. But I think it's nice to work in both, and just a different insight. Some paintings lend themselves to watercolors more, and oils, certain aptitudes about oils that make them different. So I enjoy. It's a different type of application, so I think it makes your mind think a little more about each painting, how you want to do it, and when you make the application. Scenes that I do on location, naturally you can do much faster. You don't have much more time. The light changes and so forth. Whereas a still life on something set up in the studio, or if you're working from a photograph or whatnot, you can spread your time out a little differently. But when you work outside, you have to work pretty fast because of the light and the time it takes you to do something. So watercolor lends itself more in that area because it is a quicker medium to work with. I try and pick out subjects that stand out in my mind, and also you start thinking about design and composition and all that. But mainly, whether it's watercolor or oil, I want people to be able to recognize and know what it is. I don't want to have to explain whatnot. Nothing against impressionistic work, that's just the way I feel about painting. So, and then when I paint also, if you want to sell paintings, I try and do paintings that I think that people would like. Subjects that they enjoy, places that they've been to enjoy, and so forth. So there's a lot goes into painting if you think you want to do it professionally and sell your work. It's something you want to paint that's marketable and that other people are going to want. Because I know people say, well, someone is famous or whatnot with their work, people buy it because who painted it? And I like people to buy my work because they like it. And, so that's basically my philosophy on what I take and paint. But it goes back to when I was over in France training to be a chef, and I worked in a hotel over there for 10 months. And in between the lunch break and evening break on cooking, I had an hour or so to sort of waste. I was off duty, and I really fell in love with French painting. I used to watch the painters on Notre Dame and along the Seine, and when I did that, it would just put an inspiration in me that someday when I get time, I've got to start taking lessons in paint. So it was a number of years later when I started teaching school in Easton that I had time off. I didn't have it in the hotels and restaurants. And from there, I took lessons and for a number of years, and then I retired from teaching in 1986. And I did art full-time from there. I did art shows and traveled up and down the coast of Florida to Maine, New England, doing different shows, and that's what I basically do. And I don't do so many outdoor shows now. I basically work from home or on my website. I grew up in the town of Easton, so I've always been from New England. And I think New England has such a diversity and landscape, seasons, and all of that. It's just beautiful. Because Florida is nice, Cape Cod is beautiful, and so forth. So everything is, you got so much here, why go somewhere else? I have been to Portugal and Spain and painted, but I think it's just different to go somewhere else and see different things. But I don't think you can find the diversity on beautiful landscapes and flowers and everything to do. So I don't think it's a better place to paint in New England. I do have a couple of pieces of painting here I'd like to mention. The gazebo down here in town is this lady here, Judy Kenny's painting. I did for her a number of years ago. And Skip, her husband, is snow painting right behind here of the river in town. So they were nice enough to loan them to me today to have them here where I wanted to have some work representing West Bridgewater. Here I have some of the town park here in West Bridgewater. These two are down River Street in West Bridgewater. I've done a lot of paintings down at River Street. That's been a beautiful spot to paint, and nice to park down there and paint. I've done another one of the stream. I've done quite a few down that area, so it's nice in town here to have some local scenes. I like my work that I've done, but some pieces stand out. Like this one right here is the Trinity Church in Newport. And I'm a member of the Rhode Island Watercolor Society. I know at different times we paint in different locations. And I remember doing this right on the sidewalk in Newport. And I'm pleased the way it come out, because sometimes painting outside on a location under those situations, you work sometimes it's not easy. But I thought this came out pretty well, and I was very pleased with its thing. So with a lot of my work, I looked at this one here, I think is special. This little one here, I had it in a show in Boston, Northeast Trade Center. And we're doing a show there, and a fellow come along, he says, "Oh, I recognize that place and scene. I recognize this gentleman right here. I know him." And in fact, he lives down the street from me. And he said, "I'm going to go home now and tell him." So the next day when I'm there, there's this couple, little Italian fellow coming down the thing, and I said, "No, this has to be the guy." So he come up, he looked, and he says, "Yeah, that's me, all right." And his wife says, "And that's my salt shaker right there." and they both says, "Wrap it up, we gotta have it."
Oh, that's great.
So I'll never forget that. It was so funny, but well, I don't know. It's hard to look back and say, I wish you had done something different or whatnot, but I'm pretty satisfied the road that I took and the way things have gone. I've had an awful lot of joy out of painting. People have been thrilled with my paintings. I've got a lot of feedback from people that just treasure my work, and that gives you an inspiration to want to keep painting and feel that time hasn't been wasted. So I don't think I would change much that I did. I did at the time, I thought was the best decisions, and I could go with that. I remember a young lady I did that wanted me to do her portrait so bad. Oh gosh, begged and begged to want me to do her portrait. So I did her portrait, and when she got through, she cried. She said, "That's the worst thing I ever seen." She's never going to speak to him again. That's my daughter. So.